Welcome, 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 guys. Chew and Chat with Yana-Lu. I am glad to be back at you guys once again with another hot guest with some great information and some good nuggets. Guys, I hope this week has been a great week for you. I really know, not I really know, but sometimes we get blurps. But I know that we've had bumps in the road and some good times. But right now we're celebrating everything that is good, guys. If you have anything good to celebrate, make sure you send it down to Chew and Chat with Yana-Lu. Email ccwyl1974@gmail.com. Yes. So anyway, we have a hot guest coming down here, guys, and he's an amazing author. He's wrote plenty of books, and I mean, his books and his footage that he has, when I began to watch it, I was stuck. It was like a can of Pringles. I couldn't stop watching it. So when I actually got on the phone with this gentleman, we began to have a conversation, and then he began to see that I was indulging into his information, what he had, his product. I was investing in him. I was really putting my all into making sure that I knew the person that was coming before you guys. So I know that I can bring you somebody that I can really represent. So anyway, guys, tonight our guest will be via screen, live screen, and he will not be physical. So you will just have little old Yana-Lu down here on set getting jiggy with it, what you say. Mr. Anthony Milton, how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Is our guest is on a different platform because you will be the first that we've actually aired, on this method, So, welcome, welcome, and thank you for coming aboard. Now, I have been bragging about you a little bit, about, you and your book, and, I'm speaking into you, your series and movies, you have a lot of good things going on, and I would love to, if you would be so kind to expound on, what you're doing and what sparked you into do what you're doing.
Okay, first I'm going to give an introduction of myself, a brief. In the 80s, I joined the police department. Call it the old school, bubble cars, no technology, but everything was basic. And I did that for a while. I had an opportunity to work in jail, prison. And I made history of being the first black commodity controller in Georgia. And during that time, I did a lot of undercover work, taught the DARE program in school. But back when I was young, I had a passion for writing. And back then, I used to stutter a lot. My twin sister and I used to stutter a lot. Did we lose the connection? And by doing so, I feel like we lost connection momentarily. So I thought about it, and I used to write. But during the time when I was growing up, I had a problem talking to females. So what I would do, I would write down little notes, as in, what is your name, your life, but I didn't want to stand up and go, and then she just walk off.
Right,
So
right.
Then I had a thing about, I used to listen to people's music, wrote my own words to the song, and I kept progressing, and then I got my true writing style, which is I call, people say it's metaphor, parables, because God has gifted me that I can look at various things and write something from it. And when someone hears it, oh, that sounds like your Bible, but it's not no Bible verses unless I'm writing something specifically. So the last book I wrote is The Hidden Tears of a Black Male. And I wrote it from the perspective of a black male, but yet I found out it can pass other gender, females, because a person who
It can
wrote
apply to
my
anybody,
book.
basically.
Right. And so when I thought about that, someone changed the title, drop it down to Hidden Tears. And what I mean by that is we all have tears. If I was to come on your show and I was crying, you would deal and you will be watching. So why did you start crying? Why did you about I know crybaby on the air? But hidden tears, all tears are not wet. And that's where I'm coming from. So my dream is to push it out there that we all have hidden tears. No one's exempted from it. They might not admit it, but we have hidden tears.
I love it. I love it. I mean, there's no other better description of what you just stated before us. People need to know that. People need to know that because there's a lot of people like her, like I say all the time, that don't know how to cry out. And, you know, with Hidden Tears, you gave them a gateway, somewhere, a safe haven, a place to go to of recognition of you understand me. I'm not the only one, and you're tangible. And so thank you, my brother, for putting that information out. Now, who the people so much in your life as in your family, your immediate family, was the one that you held on to the most and walked you through this thing, you know, through all of it? Because I know it wasn't an easy transition. So who was there for you the most?
God, because
Okay.
back then when I wrote, nobody didn't know. I kept to myself. I didn't want nobody to hear anything I wrote because I look at myself as I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't nobody. So I kept to myself and I was afraid to share what I've been writing because I was afraid of the response. So I didn't share anything and I kept to myself. Only I got positive feedback from strangers, very little from family members, but mostly from strangers and people, you know, that would hear me speak. Like the editor who did my book, she's a white female, and when she read the book, she said, "Anthony, this made me mad, but not in a bad way. It opened our eyes up." Like you was mentioning, we all have hidden tears, but we must educate ourselves. We must recognize we have a problem. We must recognize that we need help. It's like the old grandmama may say, "Baby, you need to get help because you got a problem." They're not physically crying, but they behave, they're acting out in a manner. And some people tend to cry out for help, and pride gets in the way. They don't want to go to a counselor or a Christian counselor, which I feel is the best, or even seek help. And when they don't seek help, because I have friends in my life didn't seek help that killed themselves because of their status quo or the image they projected to the people. So I really didn't have, other than God, I would say that was my driving force because, like I mentioned, I've been writing for almost 40 plus years, and it wasn't about the money. I said the money always come at the end. It'd be the fruit of my labor. So I just kept on going.
You say you got to keep going. At the same time, I had a thought, and it passed. Gotta give it back to me. But when you persevere and you begin to be pressed and the pressure comes on, you'll see who's really in the race. But if you are down, I want people to understand if you are down, get around some people that are strong enough that when they're
I
knocked
agree.
down, they continue to get back up, and then it'll give you a drive to stay motivated to keep going yourself. Because there's a lot of people out here, Anthony, that just don't have the example. And so that's what made me come about, want to bring the show, because I wanted people to know, you know what, I'll bring you a gateway. I'll bring an open door. Because people out here like yourself and other people that come upon the panel of Chew and Chat with Yana-Lu, you know, you guys are a liaison to let these people know that miracles are really out here because your stories are real. And that's what it's
Right.
about. It's allowing to tap into people to let them know that I'm not by myself, but in a positive way, we bear fruit. We bear
True.
fruit. So, how was it when you began to tell me that moment, if you could remember, Anthony, when you began to change your mindset to turn to the other way? What was going on at that time? Was it a
I call
pivotal
it my
moment?
own.
What is it? Was it a pivotal moment?
It was always a pivotal moment, but that was more, some people would say, approval from the public eye.
Right.
That kind of kept me in my little, I call it turtle shell, my head stuck in my shell.
Okay.
But I kept going forth, sharing. I must admit that strangers and people I have met was revealing me in a way that I didn't see myself.
Right.
It's like standing in front of the mirror, you can put all the makeup there is, but until you change the inside, that appearance is going to eventually fade when you come home. So I had those typical moment where I came and said, enough is enough. It's time for me, like God told me many years ago, Anthony, the writing that you're writing, it was not for the era that you was writing it, because people was not ready for the stuff that you put out there. It will come a time in their mindset, some people may want what you have, and others will refuse it.
Right.
And so I just keep pushing. And I learned that I watch you and other YouTube and other people. I can't please everybody. You're
That's
gonna always
right.
have enemies, people, haters, don't like what you say, but you keep pushing forward. As
Don't
long
worry
as
about it.
God
That's
got
right.
your back, you got to worry about anybody else.
That's right. That's amazing. Well, tell me a little bit about your projects, Anthony. Give me a couple of the names of your projects and also share with the public what those titles meant and where were you? Give me the three good ones. What those titles meant and where were you in your life at that time?
The first book that I ever wrote is He Still Speaks Now Listen. God gave me that one. I tell you, I was Savannah, Georgia. I was led to go to Savannah Beach. It was like 11 o'clock at night with a cassette player. And I walk up and down the beach. And you know when you see the water coming back and forth, it looks like a foam. And I said, wow, the ocean is skimming within itself. And then the thought came to me, how can an ocean recognize who was on the beach by what was tossed into the ocean? The ocean is skimming itself, realizing that it was not made for that purpose. So we must push that back on the shore. And that came out to like 8 chapters. But the mark behind the story is we as individuals, we must not allow ourselves to accept the thoughts from other people. And then we become the very thing that we was not meant for. It's like a kid and a parent would teach their children the right way and then they move in the
Right.
neighborhood. And the kid take on their neighborhood ocean wave and start acting a different way. And so where did that come from? So when God gave me that first book, he said, I'm always speaking, but people won't listen because they want to hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And
Good
that was
stuff.
my catalyst, as you say. And then the second book that I take pride in, you always have snakes in your head. You know the Medusa with the snakes. And that was a blessing book because I had an idea that I wanted my book to have a snake head. And I didn't want to go copyright anything else. I was praying about it and God directed me to a Circle K. And I saw the guy, the cashier, was drawing. I said, can you draw me something? He said, like what? So he put something together, and I still have it. So that became the cover of the book, it's like Medusa head.
Right.
So what are the thoughts that you're thinking? It's the thoughts are like a snake. And when that came about, when I was working for the phone company, I opened up the box, and there was a snake down there. And I said, oh, no, I'm not doing this job today. And I said, that'd be wrong to ride off into the sunset. I need to fix people's phone. So I
Right.
remember I had a shovel in my truck and I struggled to kill that snake and I finally chopped off the head and that produced the book. You always have snakes in your head. What are you talking about, Anthony, when you say you always have snakes in your head? The thought that you think, the chapter is you always have snakes in your head. You need to anti-venom. Listen out for the snakes. Because the thoughts we think, it's like the mama said, you never amount to nothing. You're just like your dad, you're just like your father. And the child grows up and they biting themselves with those thoughts. And they can't, it becomes a part of them. They remember that, well, mom or dad is right. Nobody in the family ever went to college. No one felt, there's no one in my family I can look up to. So they buy those thoughts. So we are constantly being, even right now, we are constantly being bombarded with thoughts of negativity, and we bite ourselves with it's like in the old days, if you watch a cowboy movie, the person get bit by a snake, get slipped or whatever, and the cowboy suck it out and spit it to the ground. And I thought about us. We should not partake in someone else's bites. You know, someone going through some emotional feeling, and I know how you feel, and then we take on that feeling, and then we start experiencing what they say. So the anti-venom, which is a chapter in the book, is the truth. We need an anti-venom to relieve the snake bite of thoughts. And that's Those two books
For
was,
me.
I call it my slingshot, if you want to call it, because we all have negative thought. We always have snakes. No one can say they don't have no memory of someone saying you never amount to nothing. You're just like your dad. You're just like your mom. You're no good, or some negative thought that's still lingering in their mind today, and they allow themselves to experience it, and they're living it over and over and over because they have not sought out the truth, which is the antivenom, not the lies, but the truth.
So we're thankful for you that you have the antidote. So let's get a couple of people out there to connect to Anthony Milton and see what he has going on with this process. And y'all hit Yana-Lu back and let me know how you feel. And Anthony, I think it's lovely to be able to take your time and think about others and not just yourself, and be able to share some important information, that can help us all. And if we just take the time to invest in ourselves, it'll enable us to further along ourselves in our own life, because what you're saying can apply us in any area. Am I hearing
Right.
that to be true?
That's correct. You reminded me when you say something. I say back in the days of slavery. I'm quite sure they didn't war as me there, but the inspirational message that someday they'll be free. Of course, they died and we are probably descendants of our slave, but we are free to do whatever. We have the choice to educate yourself. I always have a big thing with the young people. If you drop out of school, I met this young black female, not pregnant, not married. She discovered that she cannot continue to work. We was talking, work in a fast food joint because she could never get any further in life. So she's going back to school. And I commend her that she was going back to school. Some of us males are hard headed. We don't want to school because we're not representing the clique and the clan that we in. So we go about blaming everybody else, and we did not finish school. So education, if you don't, if I had to drive a point home, we must educate ourselves. Educate ourselves in a manner of, I don't know what I think I know. I must be willing to die to what I think I know, and then accept the truth, research it, talk to someone that we trust, and begin to apply it in our life. Because the lies only get us so far, and they're going to change when our emotion run up and down like a roller coaster going up the hill. So the slaves did not. I'm quite sure someone looking for a positive message in today's society we living in now. We hardly don't hear any inspiration. We hear feel good message. I don't want to offend. I'm looking the other way, and people have no hope, nothing to grab on. And then when those of us like yourself and me, other people start sharing what God has given us, then we be attacked by the very people that say speak for us or speak for them, and it's just a mad world out there. So we must stand up, me and you and other people. Speak what God says. Speak what He says.
It's it can be a thing for us and lesson, hasn't it?
I think I can hear you.
Society has changed such in a drastic time, such a tremendous drastic time, and what's your take on today? How society
Repeat
is?
that. Oh,
What is your
society.
take on how society has played itself out today for the national people that we live upon this world? What's your take on how the world has been changed in such a drastic time, in such a fast speed?
I think the world changed based on technology, but then the world changed based on who's driving the agenda. Uh, if I want you to follow me, how can I get you to follow me?
Speak a little
I
louder
must.
for me.
I say if I want you to follow me, I must create something for you to follow me. So when we living in a driven world that move people with situations, and for example, when I was thinking, I remember seeing a movie a couple of weeks ago. This guy was into the drug industry, and he wasn't successful. He was losing his business. So he had an idea because he was mad that his parents had died. So he went to court and he lost it. But he remembered the case number. In the medical field, he created some type of substance to destroy the blood bank. And the police officers, they had to figure out what, they couldn't give people blood. And they had to figure out, how can we stop this when people are dying and need blood? So someone figured out the case that he went to, and while they were doing this, he was out there saying, I got the cure for you. I got the drug. I'm going to give it away free, but I'm going to charge you X amount of dollars. And he was playing, he created the problem, but he had a solution. And I thought about that today. We live in a world where, is it real? What is real? You see me and I see you. But are we real? No. Unless I'm sitting by you and can pinch you, you're real. Because they can make things on TV and movies that you think is real. So we, in a world, I call it a hospital, a sane asylum, that is almost me, driving on people, emotions and fear. And when you play on people's fear, you can do anything because they're going to follow you like sheep. And society is going in the wrong direction. It seems like it got to get worse for people to cry out. But right now, people are not crying out. They're only about themselves. Life is still going on. They're about themselves. So it kind of grieved me when you see, when you enter, I call it a different mindset, and you see what's going around you, and someone may ask you a question. It's like you ask me one plus one is two, and I said yes, and you tell me it's not two. It depends on how you feel. So we living in a field society don't want to accept the truth. So that's what's wrong with society. And I always felt the church, if the church will speak and stand up for God's righteousness, then we wouldn't be in the position we're in right now. Yeah, it's gonna always be evil. Yeah, it's gonna be what we wouldn't be in the mindset that we're in right now.
You're right about that. I tell you, I'm having an issue with certain genres of music, certain types of television shows that are being able to be played across the airway for our children without giving us parents an opportunity to have the choice of what should be seen at a certain age. I mean, it's like everything is okay. You know, there's no limit. You have an opportunity to raise a child in which way they should go because I feel the government has taken over that right. And, everything is so accessible. They're rushing so many things into our young children's hands, but they're not understanding that these are about to be the people that are over our head. These are about to be the presidents, the governors, the mayors, the teachers, everything. And what are we putting into these teachers? Guns, killer games, rape games, all this corrupt stuff. Corrupt stuff. Presidents lying and saying different things about, it's so much. And to the point I said, I think it was last Tuesday, Anthony, I said, God, I'm crying out because I want you to heal the land. Give us 100 years of peace. Everybody. I'm talking to you, God. Mm-hmm. Everybody can ask for whatever they want. And all I want is 100 years to reign for everybody in the world. Because we have gotten so far away from what really matters, which is leading one to Christ, or whatever it is, belief that you have. But for me, it's leading one to Christ, so I have to speak to that. But we should be so deep into researching ourselves daily, Anthony, that we don't have time to focus on nobody else. And that's why I like the way that you come, because you come hardcore, brother. Like another one of my guy friends, I think you and I on this phone, we discussed, he was like, yeah, I like Hype Dog. So big up to Hype Dog because Mr. Anthony Milton paid some homage to you because I sent your footage to him and he really liked it. So yeah, I like the way you come though. I think, it's a time as such as now that, the world needs some realness. And we don't need babysitting on the couch conversations. We need sergeant in your face conversations because what's going on here today, the world is changing like this, it's evolving like this. And time works for nobody. So And tell the people if you got any more projects or that we can, be on the lookout for and make sure that we support.
I'd like to add something to what you just said, if I may.
Oh, you sure?
To answer that question, we must understand who went where, why, and how. If you watch or listen or read, there's a common thread in all of what we see. It's a Bible verse that say, God said, I will put my laws and mind in the hearts of people, and I will be their God, and they will be my God. When we hear like the different religions, Jews and or Muslim and Catholic
Yeah.
and all over, we
Excuse me.
hear little about how they're being persecuted. In the foreign country, they get captured and killed and raped and selling. Everything that we show, all of this acceptability is doing what? Destroy your moral, that everything is acceptable. There's no way. There's no one wants. So it's designed to destroy the mindset of men. And sadly, they have really destroyed a lot of us. It's not, I say, race, I'm truth and lies.
I think is freezing up a little bit, but guys, this is a great guy. I mean, you guys should tap into Anthony Milton. He's done a lot of things. He's met a lot of, high people that he's touched, and
Is
that he's touched.
there's no color. There's no variety.
So yes, as he is freezing, again, he's done a lot of donating time, give back. He's a great guy. He really is a great guy. And I was introduced to him through some of Mr. Bob Johnson's friends, which is that started Juneteenth in Atlanta. Big ups to you too, Bob Johnson. Guys, we have some great people down here. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are out here doing a lot of wonderful things. And that's basically what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on what it is that you have in life that you desire to do. Because this is the opportunity. At the end of the day, they say it's going to be another recession. You guys know that the recession is for the rich. It's a supermarket for the rich. That's all it is. You get to play if you have the money. So make sure you have the money, honey. I mean, I'm going to
I'm
make sure I
here.
got my little duckies up. But he's back with us, guys. But get your ducks up so you can play in a recession and buy up some land. And I was just over here teaching them, Anthony, that not to cut their little thought off. And I'm glad you came on back. That, they say the world is beginning to fall back into another recession. And, as I was telling them, a recession is nothing but for the rich to play and shop. If you have the money and you can afford it, then you can dabble and straps and get you a couple of jobs and some extra income because they finna go at it. Especially when everything is risen up, gas and rent and mortgage and, get ready.
Yep.
What's your thought on
I,
that? Go ahead again.
I didn't catch part of what you said because it lost connection. And I was thinking, even happen when I do my videos. When I perceive I got a message that will go out into the spiritual world and God will direct them to the source, you always have internet connection. I know I'm the first one doing your broadcast like this, but you always, because I saw a message saying I lost the feed. It didn't bother me because I know the enemy out there, spiritually speaking. When you speak the truth, you will be spiritually attacked.
Yeah.
And you'll be spiritually attacked from all ways. And we just have to, I go back to that thing of educating yourself. It's
Yeah.
like when I was young, reminded me, I didn't like to read a book because I couldn't read without stuttering. And
Right.
I got older, maybe 20 years or 30 years ago in my writing. I said, if somebody want to hire something from me, they can put in a book because I'm not going
Cause
to read it.
listen, because you wasn't going there.
I'm not going to read it.
I
So I'm
tell you.
slapping at myself. I did book. You get people say, well, I don't talk politics and religion. Okay, when it's like this girl I met said, before I date a guy, I hit him with the big question. Who's the mayor? Who's the governor? If they can't answer that, I don't want to talk to you. Because she felt that when you exist, then you should know something about something. You know, to say I don't need to know that, then guess what? I can come capture you with lies and make you believe anything. And
Right.
sadly, it's happening right now.
And it feels good when you can be honest, you can have a genuine conversation, and you can get further in life because, when you're honest, you ain't got to worry about looking over your shoulder and trying to remember this and trying to fit the story together. And it's just best to be honest because the fruits of the labor comes then. Guys, don't lie because that's when the fruits of the labor comes. And it really feels good to be free, I'm telling you. So, I was taking a look at some of these rappers, out here today, they have an opportunity that I feel to see the children in a light that they are desperate, like a sponge, seeking for knowledge. And I would like to see more of the rappers getting involved in lifting the children up, doing a little bit more give backs. And not that I'm attacking you guys, I'm not at all. And if that's what's going to be the start of my, starship, then so be it. But, I would love these young men to think about their little sisters and their little brothers and the legacy that they're leaving behind. It's been breaking my heart, as a 48-year-old woman. I'm now starting to see a lot of 50 and 60-year-old men with their pants sagging. I'm having some issues with that. There's a couple of things that's, on the plate that I wanted to pick your brain. So what's your thought process when you're a gentleman and you keep your pants pulled up and, tell us why, for the
Okay.
young youth that doesn't know why you keep your pants pulled up and you keep yourself dressed to a certain standard. Tell us why that's important for in the business and for your person and for the respect of who created you. Why should we give our best?
Okay, to plug in what you said about the music and the rappers and stuff. I remember back in the day when you had a problem with a girl, you found a record and said, "Baby, this is how I feel about you." And that record said everything you want to say. It's like, "You love me," because you express yourself. Now the records that's being played, and you say something that's really stick out with me. When you speak the truth, people think you're judging, condemning, prejudiced, or whatever because they spoke like that. About is go back what I said, it destroyed the morality of
Yeah,
the individual. How
yeah.
can you get mad at another race using the N-word and the N-word is in your song?
Oh my
Come
God.
on, come on.
Come on,
How can
somebody.
you get mad when you say it's the man out there, whatever who's the man is, doing whatever to my people,
Come
but
on.
you in the same way doing the same thing to
Come
your
on,
people?
somebody.
It doesn't make sense. When I
Yes.
saw a movie when the guy sell drugs on the corner, he said, "I don't take it." He's storing lives because
Right,
he's
right.
feeling the crime. So you have all this stuff to destroy the morality of the people. And I keep hitting back. When you have no voices like yourself and me, other people, coming against this stuff, and when you come against it, they think you attack me because I'm black. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
coming against you because I'm coming against you. So sagging pants, that's a push button with my cousin. I did a mess on my YouTube channel. I did three. I did a Facebook match with sagging pants. You see
Okay.
guys 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old with their pants below. I mean, I seen the pants, a guy, I'm single, a nice looking girl with a strong brother walking in the restaurant. I'm sitting there and he had his pants below his waist. I mean, down
My
below,
Lord, I'm
down below.
telling you.
And she walk in there and I said, "Do she not see that?" And I knew he would get mad at people looking at him like, "What are you looking at me for?" But what kind of image that he's projecting? So when I did my little video, someone on Facebook saw my message and said, "Brother, I want to give you some more information, add to what you say." Because I worked in a prison and I used to see their pants below their waist. They have another pants below their waist. And I learned the terminology when I was working in a prison that other inmates that they're ready. and you know what I mean by ready. They sell them stuff for cookies or Twinkies or whatever that goes on. And
Right.
then this guy sent me a video and said, no, it started in slavery days. You have a young black buck that was a problem in the plantation.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a picture. So they decided to have a cookout. And right in the middle of the cookout, all the slaves and women and men and women is watching the cookout. So this problem black male, they bring him to the front and put him on that tree stump. Drop your pants. He dropped his pants and they sodomized him. And then they made him wear a dress or pants below his waist. So when he walked through the plantation, they know he was a buck. They call it BUCK,
Yeah.
bucking. You can Google it. And so I remember working at a college and I saw a young man with his pants. I'm representing. Hit him back. I said, representing what? He couldn't tell me.
And
Representing
they,
what?
they don't, let me tell you something, Anthony, they don't have a clue. They don't have a
Right.
clue.
So when I asked, I said, representing what? I said, do you know the history of that? He said, no. I said, do you want to know? He said, yes. He said, that's not me.
Amen.
I said, what if someone come out of prison for 30 years and see you with your pants down? They're going to say, he's ready.
Yeah.
You nice. You was a red blood. He was light skinned, nice looking guy. They're going to think you say, I'm ready. He said, well, we're going to fight. I said, why you got to fight? Just pull up your pants. So, and then did this,
It's
did,
simple
you know,
as
just,
that.
and I thought about it. I say, if black females or any female will say, we're not going out if you pull your pants up. You say
That's
you love
right.
me, pull your pants up.
That's
So
right.
now the man out there said, okay, we can get the matching underwear with the matching shoes, the matching socks, the matching shirt. And then the person walked through the mall with everything, walking like he can't walk, straddling side by side. And then when they get older, they wonder why they can't walk because they're not walking normal. And then they get mad. So you pull up your pants, you can't tell me what to do. You know, when laws are passed, said you must. As a racial, pull up your pants. I don't see,
Um,
see your, everything. When we speak to truth, quick, racially motivated. No. That's what you think. And go back to education. So I'm against it. Up their pants. Represent that way, don't have to experience the consequences. You say they don't know the history. So when who listen to me right now, if you see someone, don't approach them about no pants or whatever. You know the history behind it all,
yeah. It's
and that's what
always
it
the
represents.
best thing. I love that. I apologize. It's always the best thing to know your history and just to be educated on any matter
Right.
of whatever it is you indulge in because you
True.
don't want to be, the little wolf that's standing out in the crowd. And, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in any circle that I just didn't know what I was talking about because at that point, then I'll be listening and learning, with my mouth shut. So if there's something that you can give back to somebody that is, doing what you're doing, what would you tell them? And how would you tell them to strategize in order to walk along the path that you did to get to where you are?
First, I would say, look into the mirror of self. Look into the mirror of self. Admit that you have a problem. That is the key. If you don't admit that you have a problem, nothing gonna change in your life.
Right.
And it's hard for people to admit that they have a problem. I always use the analogy: a woman will not tell you she got a hole in her pantyhose; she keep it to herself. So we must admit that we have a problem. And when you admit that you have a problem, then you say, "Where can I go?" Like you told me, and I said, "YouTube University." Not everything is true, but do your research. Go to the library. Talk to a well-educated person, someone you can trust. Be mindful, someone you can trust that not telling your business. Oh, so and so told me this, and you don't believe what they went to know.
Right,
Talk
right, right.
because tell people use it against you. I'm not nothing that no one knows. They use it against you. Well, if you don't do this for me, then I'm gonna tell your secret. Oh, Steve, I'm gonna tell mom you doing this and that. So, key is recognize you have a problem, seeking help. And if you have to go to a counselor, marriage counselor, or whatever, go. If they don't want to go, you go. It's not about how they respond, it's how you respond. It's the Bible verse says, suffer the
That's
loss.
right.
Suffer the loss. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to do whatever. Just say, okay, I'm gonna drop it and let it go. And maybe it come back up. It may never come up. But God watches us first on how we respond. But
Yeah.
pride gets in the way and blind us I had to recognize when I was stuttering, I knew I had a problem. The teacher came to me and said, Anthony, I know a place you can go to that will teach you how to pronounce certain words. I knew I had a problem, but I had to go to where she told me. I had to put in the time after school to go there. And I'm the product of
Amazing.
that today. So if you
Okay.
don't admit that you have a problem, it's like I said,
That
you
is
go to the doctor. Yeah,
the
you go
biggest
to the
problem,
doctor.
Anthony.
Yeah, you go to the doctor for an ailment, and you sit in the waiting room and you talk to someone next beside you. You take what they said and you walk out and go somewhere else. Like, wait a minute, why do you go to the doctor? You didn't listen to a doctor. So people tend to listen to people because of emotional feelings. We know we go to
Yeah.
mom, I'm sorry, we go to people that will agree with us, not someone who said, you know what, you're smoking too much, you need to pull up your
And that's
pants.
the bad part when we, not to cut you, but that's the bad
Go
part
ahead.
when we go to people who are going to agree with us because that's what kills us, and then we
Right.
get emotional because we're emotionally attached to those people. So out of everything, all your books and what you've done, what is your main message that you want the world to know? For you to come out, what is your main message that you want the world to know?
The main message is centered around, I say, the hidden tears concept. One day I imagined myself going around the country sharing my experiences, speaking it straight, keeping it real, and go around and help those. It reminded me of this black speaker. I can't remember his name. He was on the stage in a high school, and he was speaking to the student. They were looking at their phone. They were just disrespecting him. And he
Right.
came down and he said, "Wait a minute. They invite me here to speak to you, and you disrespecting me. You on your phone." I mean, he let them have it, and that whole arena auditorium turn around. So my thing is, go with the message that God gave me. I may touch a few, but if I touch one person, I've done my job at that event. So
Yeah.
my main message for anyone is, as I keep going back to it, we must educate ourselves from A to Z. It's like a thing I did a chapter in a book. I call it the alphabet girl or alphabet relationship.
Okay. Okay.
You I meet a girl, and she used to dating someone that only took it to the letter A and D. And she accustomed to that A to D relationship. And then I open the door for her, which you don't see anymore, getting in the car, brothers running in the
What you
car,
said.
raining, the women
What you
standing
said.
outside, they finger trying to open the door. So wait a minute, what's
I'm
going
telling
on?
you.
Or the brother come through this a restaurant and he goes in first and leave the door slamming
That's
on
right.
her, that kind
That
of
that
stuff.
that's
Or
not
they,
around
they
anymore, child.
they go out to dinner and she says, "Excuse me, I'm going to the restaurant." He just sit there, okay, her bad. He just
That's
sit
right.
there. So we don't see that mannerism anymore. So we got to edge our care because I thought about it and you just made me think about it. What is the difference between women? They say, "Oh, we have sex and she's my girl." That's the only difference that we see in a relationship. The man do not go, baby, I'm gonna get out and open the door for you. You get in the
That's
car. You get wet, she get wet. Men don't do things that they used to anymore. So
you
a
have to
woman
for
can't
Yana-Lu now.
tell a difference. Huh?
You have to for me. Chivalry
So
lives
the
with me,
woman,
darling. I got the door opening, the whole man, the home and look coach. I need all of that.
so my main message is trying to, I won't say bring the history back to the present. No, do the normal thing that is expected of us.
Right.
Expected of us. Not do things to get along, to please. Because those things are stuff that you change 5 minutes from now. Educate yourself is the key.
Yeah.
If you don't remember anything, educate yourself is the key, and recognize that you have a problem and recognize you need to get help. And remember,
Yeah.
all tears are not wet. I can address the one coming down your face because I can ask you, why are you crying?
Right.
What are the hidden tears? Sagging pants in an emotional relationship, or sexual relationship, or something going on in the household. It could be anything that you're afraid to mention it. You don't want to say it to the wrong person. So you're
That's
carrying that
right.
within yourself. So all tears are not wet. So my message is to get people to recognize that it's okay to cry when you hear the truth and then begin your new life, new
Yeah.
path in life. A lot of us holding ourselves back, like myself. I would like to use myself as an example. So a person can, you talking about me? No. If I'm talking about you, it's because what I have done. I call a family, so everybody has, no one is perfect. We all have little skeleton in our closet.
That's
Should
right.
we allow the skeleton in our closet to hold us back? It's like a person said, you changed since the last time I knew you. You was a dog out there, Anthony. I said, yeah, I was a hound dog.
But God, honey, but God.
Yes, God.
So let me tell you, you a teacher. You're actually a professor. We can sit under your teaching anytime, because you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom, and I like it. And it's not just where you're sitting and you're babbling. You're actually educating us, and that's what we need today, and it helps. So everybody's on this. I want to make $1 million, Dib, and I listened to Steve Harvey say, you want to know how to make $1 million. And everywhere I'm going, everybody's talking about making these $1 million. So he was telling people to ask 10 people for $10 every single day. And 10 people for $10 every single day. I said, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it out. But the problem is, I don't like asking nobody for nothing. I'll tell you the truth. Guys, it's a million different ways to get your bread up and to glow up. GLOW, glow up. And when I tell you, I love having people on the show like Mr. Anthony Milton, with him being an author and being heavily involved. He's been around celebrities. He's been a police officer. He's done so many other things that, Anthony, I would love for you to share, because you never know who you're touching right now with the information that you're sharing with us. And they might want to get in contact with you because of, various of things. You just don't want to dim your light when this is the opportunity to. But I love having people on here because, the world gets to have an opportunity to use their brain and to do something different. Discussion that can, that you've been wanting to know but didn't know how to ask. So that's why I like having a lot of variation of people out here in different careers, to be able to express themselves so you can understand. We all go through. And like you say, tears are not just with the tears down your face, because, some of us carry those tears within the inside, and we're crying like blood running through the vein. But you just keep pushing on. So Anthony, tell the world something that you've done that actually worked for you to bring you through some of your most tragic moments. What is something that has held you down, that kept you, going to be this Miss Arthur today?
The things that I experienced, I struggled with when I was young, and then I recognized I had a problem, and then I sought out help when I was told that I'm doing it the wrong way and I should do it the right way. I struggle with that. Even today, when someone tells you the truth, you kind of know it's the truth, but you don't want to admit that it's the truth. And you struggle with it. But when you struggle with something, at least you're struggling with it, you want to do the right thing. To struggle with something and do the opposite gets us nowhere. It doesn't. We must, again, educate, fight the pride, and recognize we have a problem. So when I think about my life with the schooling and couldn't read and couldn't write, and someone told me that you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that, when they say, oh, why would a cop go work in a prison? Aren't you scared? I said, no. I met an inmate, because when I was in the prison, you're a doctor, lawyer, you're talking to 100 and something people on a 12-hour shift. So this guy walked up to me and said, Anthony, I'm in for triple murder. Are you afraid? I said, no. He said, why not? I said, I'm believing God. He said, man, you crazy. He walked off. So that's how I addressed it. And then it comes to the chaplain allowed me to do the Bible study in the church. And then when God used to bother me, to say, man, leave him alone, because he represents God and he brings us the word.
Amen.
So I have moments where people, and when 2 months ago, I went into the local bank and the guy turned around and looked at me, and we have a history, not a good history. He was good for stealing cars and jumping out of them, and I ran and caught him.
My,
And he did that for a long time. He said, Milton, he said, you remember me? I said, yeah, I remember them days. He said, yeah, I remember them days. You said, catch me. And it was a fun, loving, we shook hands, we graced. He said, man, 25 years ago, I changed my life. He said, I changed my life because I found out coming from the penitentiary with a rap sheet, nobody want to hire you. No one want, you can't get an apartment, you can't get a job. So he
Right.
said, I did good for myself. He started a trucking company. He had 4 trucks. He started a business for himself because he recognized that going through the life of crime is going to get him in the grave or spending the life in prison, never coming out.
Ooh.
And when I worked in the prison, it made me appreciate life on the outside.
Yeah.
It just did. And even when I worked in the local jail and I met the young kids representing a zip code, representing an area code,
Yeah.
doing foolish stuff because I'm from 912 or 413 or wherever you live, zip code. And I said, okay, you get in jail for the rest of your life. Do those brothers come and give you money to buy food? No. They don't forget about you. So you represent it on the street when you get locked up for life. Do they visit you? Some may. They may come, and then that's it. So it's foolish out there. So I have met many people in my time. I arrested this guy. He was in drive. This how I was. I
Yeah.
was in the driving line, license line, and when people walk up to me, I'm kind of scared because I don't know where they're coming from. He said,
Yes,
touch me on the
yes.
shoulder. He said, remember me? I said, oh, yeah, I remember you. He said, you did me a favor. He said, I'm 42 years old. He said, I'm out there selling dope. Think it was a nice life. But when you arrested me and I went behind those bars, I won't want that life anymore. Those stories you know, when people come to you and give you a little, it wasn't about the pay. It was, you can't help everyone. It was those moments where you meet someone that you made an impact on their life. And I said when I was working in school, I used to work undercover, and this white female was telling her son, quit smoking marijuana, you're going to go to jail. He will not listen to that woman for nothing.
Up that
So he
check.
got arrested for me, and she hunt me down. And she said, Anthony, you gave me a new son. She said, what he went through
It
snapped him out of it. And then sometimes it shouldn't go that way, but sometimes we have to experience something really hard and traumatic in our life to pull us out of the situation. And,
yeah.
and, and, and I remember when this black female did a search warrant and everybody was in the house and cocaine was all on the table and they went to jail. She hunt me down after she got out 5 years. She said, Anthony, please hear me out. I'm not mad at you. I'm not angry at you, but you did me a favor. She said, if I had lived that life, I'd have been dead. But because she spent 5 years in penitentiary, it changed her life. And she sought me out to share that with me. So there's many stories that I can probably remember that being a that just me, my character to help someone. I can be driving down the street and see someone with a flat tire. I may ask you, do you need a flat tire? Sometimes I have changed the tire on the car. That's just me. You say I'm humble. I consider myself a humble person. I don't do things out of gratitude or money. I just do it because I'm able to do it. If I can help you in a way, you don't have to get broke. But those are the times that I can remember that it impacts me. That I say, oh, it's like, why are you living? Why are you existing right now? And the sound of my voice, why are you here? Yeah, I'm gonna get married, have babies, and have a business. But after you get
Amen.
all of that, what's next? You want more.
Yes. Yes. That's deep.
You
And
get a two, and that
that's
too come with you.
look,
And you see them
when
later.
God start raining you with the right thing and you really paying attention, you gonna be thirsting for him, honey, and you gonna be so
Right.
sold out to him, you ain't gonna worry about the world. And that's good stuff. So
Yeah.
do you have an interest of peeking into film, taking your book to film, doing skits with it, plays? I mean, what's the plan for it? I know it just
I,
didn't
I
start and stop there.
no, I always felt that some of the stuff that I went through, it's like someone used to say, you need to write a life about your car. And I had the opportunity, similar to what you said, a young lady was running for chief justice at the local college. And she said, what is the problem with the young people and whatever? I said, educate themselves, not knowing the law. A young man, a person don't know that when a police officer stopped them, they're required to say my name and why I stopped you. when you ask the question and they get mad. I experienced this myself 1 year ago. I rode up on the accident and I was debating should I go around the debris and go home. And while I'm thinking that, a cop sped up in front of me, jumped out, move that car right. He was yelling, screaming, and hollering. And I'm sitting there, sir, he didn't want to hear nothing I had to say. I said, wow, this is how people say they get when they're being approached by a white cop. So another police roll up, is a black officer. I said, sir, can I have a word with you? I knew I couldn't say nothing to him because it was like talking to the white police officer. He said, good. And only way he calmed me, sir, I used to be a police officer, and your behavior is not. That's when he changed. He flipped, and I called the supervisor, and I reported him. And he said, we're gonna look at the body cam. We're gonna have a talk with him because he's an issue or whatever. So it just. So my thing is the aspect, and you mentioned it. I guess a lot of things I've done can be a movie, but it's be real. I call it real, straight to the point. I saw one movie called "The Hate You Give" in the Blue Line. I did
Yeah,
a thing on it come close to being out there because when you're a police officer, you gotta agree with
that's a
what's
lot.
going on out there, huh? You gotta
I said
agree.
that being a police officer, that's a hard task. I mean, I commend you on, not to cut you time, but being a police officer and turning into walking away from everything. What was that transition like, and what made you make that transition?
From walking from police officer.
Uh-huh.
I it wasn't there anymore. I did it, but what I had was gone. I recognized that it was just gone. Because God told me a long time ago, when I leave the police department, it's not going to be like it is today. And he was right. It's not like it used to be when I was a police officer. Because people are in it for the wrong reasons. It's not the pay, it's the prestige, maybe the girls, but they're in it for the wrong reasons. And when they're in it for the wrong reason, they don't care about the law. I'm the law. You do what I say, or I'll put you in jail and shut up. And that's not it. And then you have other entities that support. And it's just sad. So when I see it now, and I see TV shows and cop shows and videos and stuff that people upload, I be saying, they did that? Wow. That doesn't
And you
even,
can do it.
excuse me, it doesn't, it's like, when you know the law, you say, wait a minute. That's I can ask you what is your name. I can say, officer, why do you stop me? You know, I have the right to ask you that question. What did I do wrong? What you look like something like who? Where did I look like who? That kind of stuff. And then when you speak up, guess what? You may find yourself in jail. You go back to what I say, educate yourself. So yes, I can think of many movies. The way my brain rolls, it can be many movies. And getting back to her with the female, I say, behind the badge, see what I see. So at this college, she presented to the college president. The college president said, go ahead. So we had a
Anthony,
forum in auditorium, and people
I don't
came.
mean to cut you off, love. I don't mean to cut you off. And honey, I can say, put it in the book and watch it in the series. It's so good. I'm telling you, we can. We're going out of time, Anthony, and I would
Okay,
love to have you back.
it
I
went by
just
that
wanted
quick.
people to know, the most important thing is that you want people to be aware. You want everybody to really just focus on themselves and live their dreams and their goals and just start paying attention to looking in the mirror, and that's what it's about. I just thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you for
here.
having me.
Please, at this moment, take a time to tell them your, social media handles and how they can get in contact with you and all that
You can
scrumptious stuff.
you can go to my webpage, he still speaks now listen.org, all one word, everything lowercase, he still speaks.org. I have a YouTube channel, I call it Hidden Tears. He still speaks now listen. Thoughts in AM, automotive behavior, which we didn't get into, and about football, showing all these things relating to self.
All right. I like it. Well, Mr. Anthony, I have had a great time with you down here on the panel with you and chat with Yana-Lu. We love you to pieces. If there's anything that we can do to help you, please make sure you contact us. And listen, make sure you chime back in with us on next week, because next week, guys, I want to tell you, will be the ending of the first series for Chew and Chat with Yana-Lu. We'll be taking a break, and then we'll be coming back at you guys fresh. And when we come back, it will be on a whole different spin. I mean, we're going to have, just, ooh, Jesus, we're going to have a lot of stuff, guys, like acting, modeling, singing, stage play. It's going to be beautiful. So, Anthony, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you for
It's
having
been
me.
a blessing again. And it is my honor just to say, mwah, from Yana-Lu. Okay? You come back at us soon,
Thank
and we
you.
will see you soon.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, family. How did you like him, guys? I really like him. Now, he's a little long-winded, but, I couldn't get cut in, but, he is fun and he is educated, and that's a good thing. So, for the most part, what I want you guys to understand is I have been having a lot of fun down here with you guys, and I have interviewed a couple of people, and we had some opportunity to give you guys some product. We had Miss Beloved. She had her own thin line sanitary napkin, which is fit for a woman's product. And it was very interesting because she had some microfibers in there that it dissolved in the water. And then when you wet it and it was saturated, then it turned into a jelly and to keep you cool. So make sure to go back through some of the footage that we have done thus far and find Miss Beloved. And if you'd like to patronize that product, tap into her and tell her that Yana-Lu says she loves you. We also had Miss Georgette down here, and she had Juice It Up. Oh my God. Guys, listen, I am not no joker, and I'm not playing around. I was going to order some, and she sent me some because I wanted to get it for my father and my mother because they had some ailments in their body, and the juice was specifically made to bring some healing to her son and with his superpowers. See, Yana-Lu remembers. I really pay attention to people on the panel. With his few superpowers, and when she talked about his superpowers, that was also touching to me because my grandson, Mr. Zion, such a king, he has superpowers as well. So tap into Juice It Up by Miss Georgette. And also, who else do we have on here? We had Hype Dog on here. We had King June on here. He's doing some hot things. Him and Hype Dog, they're also in the entertainment. And they are putting on their own movies, and Hype Dog has a show. So big ups to them. And Shantae. I met Shantae across the street from some other friends, and she's doing some big things. I went to one of her premieres last week, and she's amazing. So check out my Instagram, guys. My IGs is popping. Miss Shantae is on there, our movie premiere, and you will know who she is. But there's Janella. She came down with her book, which was a wonderful, wonderful thing because her book was touching because she was talking about her own personal life and a relationship that she had with her mother that, was estranged and turned to great. So I'm trying not to, forget anybody. We had King June down here. Big ups to King June. No, King June. We had Baby D. That's what King June, I love you, but I was thinking about big ups to Baby D. We did have him down here, and Izzy Real at the same time, and those guys was great. So Izzy had some comedy for us, and he was cracking my side. And then Baby summed it up with the Snack Shack, and guys, it was a wonderful thing. And I had an opportunity to go to the Snack Shack. So look out on my Instagram and my TikTok because I will be putting up some footage of that fun time that I had down there. Guys, I tell you. So one last thing I wanted to bring to your attention. At this time, I will not be in the movie. I just decided that my schedule was a little bit too busy. I would not be playing Melissa Stone at this time. Miss Goldie and Blue Gold Production, we came into a mutual agreement that our schedules are just like clashing. So, even though I really wanted to do it, but just to pay them respect, thank you for the opportunity. But at this time, like I said, I wasn't able to do it. But, down the line in the future, as my time permits, we'll be able to work on some things later. But yeah, guys, so yeah, listen, if you got anything that you want to say, you want to hear, you want answered, you want to see some people, let's see if Yana-Lu can get their hot potato self in this seat. Let's show them the seat, P. We want you to get some people in this hot potato seat right here with Yana-Lu. That's right. Show them what it looks like on stage with Yana-Lu. Let's just draw it out. Yana-Lu. then bring your little cell phone down here. Fun on the set. We can talk whatever we can. But for the most part, I want to make sure that when you come on set with Yana-Lu, anybody that knows me, anybody that doesn't know me, I want you here. This is what it is. You're down here. Ooh. Y'all, I'm liking this little new. Thank you for the new. SMK, what's up? Hey, that's what's up. I have to show them that because we went shopping today, y'all. So if you guys have some information that you want to share, if you have some information that you need a spotlight on via good or bad, but it needs attention, positive attention, please come on down. Go to Chew and Chat with Yana-Lu. That's ccwyl1974@gmail.com. ccwyl1974@gmail.com. That is the email to reach Yana-Lu to send your information in if you would like to be on the show. If you have a topic that you would like to talk about, you can also reach me on my IG, which is The Real Yana-Lu, TheRealYanalu, The Real Yana-Lu. I also have another IG, which is Chew and Chat with Yana-Lu. It's a bunch of underscores when it pops up, but maybe if you just put in Chew and Chat, the Chew and Chat with Yana-Lu, you can get me there. Facebook is Yana-Lu, and I think that's about it. I have been kind of shy with the social media because I'm a behind the scene person. But guys, like I say, if you are a singer, if you are an actor, if you are a model, if you are a mimer, I am looking for a mimer. I would love to have someone down here. You can be a group, you can be by yourself, but I would love to have somebody come down here and mime me some praise and worship, as well as, some other little songs and get jiggy with it. But that is what I am in search of. So we have a couple more products coming up, guys, but I need you guys to know that APAP Media, yes, is in the house. We have opportunities to film you guys. So if you want a package deal so we can get you on a show like Yana-Lu, listen, go on APAP Media and through Yana-Lu and Chew and Chat, I'll get you that information. Again, APAP Media, say it again because I'm not saying it all the way right. APAP Media Group. apapmediagroup.com. There you go. All right, guys, please hit up apapmediagroup.com. That is where you can find the finest camera guy. If you like how he has me on camera, you definitely can patronize him. He is there for the grabbing. But Patrick is always, putting out great footage and doing great things. He's very positive. If you want to work with someone that is understandable and reasonable and that takes your ideas and turn them into something amazing, please patronize apapmediagroup.com. We have some hot things coming up through APAP Media. Yana-Lu is getting ready to go off the scene for Chew and Chat, and I'm going to bring back some more hot things. So please stay with us. We do have Miss Nyla. She is a book writer. She'll be coming out with some movies in APAP Media. We'll be filming some of that. We also have SMK. Yes, Trapping Rappers. He is out here in the city of Atlanta, and he is looking for 10 hot rappers that is doing some positive things out here. So if you think that you can be one of these 10 hot rappers that is going to be traveling around the world with SMK Trapping Rappers, baby, please also hit ccwyl1974@gmail.com, and you can also reach us through apapmediagroup.com. Either way, please let us know what you think and what you feel. And guys, I don't have to tell you to subscribe because if you like it, that's what you're going to do. So it has been fun down here with Yana-Lu, and peace.